Well, I need to welcome you to another lovely time on Quest Television in Quest 93.1 FM. Well, definitely is a weekend edition of Quest Today. My name is Mike Egobadia. It's another beautiful day, and interestingly, the beginning of a lovely weekend. And funny enough, the very first day in the month of December. Well, I want to say Happy New Month to all our lovely viewers, our fans cut across all the part of the country and, well, extending to every other part of the world. Welcome. It's a lovely first day of December 2023. Oh, just 30 more days and the year 2023 will be giving us goodbye and the welcoming of 2024. But anyway, on that note, I need to welcome you guys and welcome my colleague right here that will be doing this with me all through today. And I'm talking of no other person but Rikemi Miriam. Miriam, Happy New Month.
Happy New Month to you as well. Yes, like you said, 30 more days and this year will be over.
Do you know the shocking thing about it is I could still remember the first day of January 2023.
Well, with all the Christmas wreaths and Christmas trees decorating the entire viewing of Quest, it's already beginning to feel like Christmas here already.
Well, anyways, I just feel the Christmas will bring the smile it normally does.
Let's hope so.
Well, anyway, as much as we pray and hope for that, we need to quickly go through what we enjoy doing. And you do know the papers will definitely come next right here, as much as the big story will come after that. But for now, let's quickly go to the papers. And for review today, we have 5 papers. We have the Vanguard, Daily Trust, The Nation, Nigerian Tribune, and most certainly the Punch, which is usual puncher, will definitely make the rounds. And let's see if we start with the Punch first, though. And on the Punch newspaper, the leading story reads, New wage begins April as federal government votes 24 trillion for salaries. And I could hear people, especially those in the civil service, saying hallelujah. But anyway, kickers to that, Labour and federal government begin talks. Current wage regime expires March ending, says Minister. And federal government laments fiscal deficit as reps condemn high MDA salaries, demand ICPC probe. But anyway, I know you can just probe around that on page 2 of the Punch. But let's quickly take other leading stories. Federal government says 583 million naira fines begin, or rather federal government pays 585 million naira fines, begins nationwide prisons release. And you can get that story on page 7. Shaibu free to contest Edo governor, says Obaseki. Woo, a change of heart. But anyway, don't change the story, just grab it on page 26. And CBN fund, Senate threatens to other gas companies probe. And you can understand why that is on page 7. But let's quickly take other stories just beneath the picture of the day. Assembly drops a suit against Aiyedatiwa as ESCO embrace peace on page 26. And Kwara Monarch 2 orders bag life jail for kidnapping. And that story you can get on page 4 and 5. Jakpa, federal government urges varsities to produce more doctors. And page 7 is taking that story. But what you get on page 10, and also the picture of the day is COP28. Tinubu meets King Charles. Nigerian orders $261 billion fund. And all of that story is also making the rounds on page 10 and the picture of the day. That's the much you can take from the Punch.
Okay, the next paper for review this morning is The Nation newspaper. And the major headline there is a statement coming from Edun, as it says, how federal government will tackle budget 2024 deficit. The writers there says measures will crash shortfall from 6.11% to 3.88% of GDP. And also Senate and House begin debate on 27.6 trillion naira estimates. The final writer there says budget's brilliant, says Senator Jimo Ibrahim. But do also read all of this on the front page and continue on page 4 of The Nation newspaper. Moving above the masthead, we have Lagos and Abuja demolition. Ohaneze kicks. The writer there says we follow rule of law. More stories on that on page 1. But moving over to page 5 on The Nation newspaper, Edo PDP governorship primary process in shaky start. A lot seems to be happening right now in Edo State with whether the permission to
contest or not
has been given or not. But like I said, get more details on that on page 5. Moving on, we have Firma needs 300 billion naira annually to fix federal roads. It's also making it on page 5. And Abiodun presents 703 billion naira budget 2024 estimates. You can get more details on that on page 2. Moving to page 3 of The Nation, UK willing to partner Nigeria on lithium value chain, says Alake. We'll get more details on that on page 3, as I stated earlier. And moving on, we have Ayedatiwa and Ondo House close ranks. The writer there says ESCO adopts Abuja peace terms, House withdraws suit against Deputy Governor, and workers to get 35,000 naira. You can read all of this on page 4 after reading on the front page. Medical and Dental Council says we will help to address doctors' mass exit. My own question now is how. But more details on that.
Japan is always,
I wonder how they intend doing that. But
yeah.
You can get more details on that on page 3. And the final headline on the front page of The Nation says Nigeria and UK strengthen ties. Tinubu and King Charles III meet, and that also stands as the picture of the day that was taken yesterday. But do also get all of this on page 5 after reading on the front page of The Nation. And that's much you can take on the front page of The Nation newspaper.
Well, I trust you want us to continue with more, and let's quickly go to the Daily Trust. And on the Daily Trust this morning, the leading story reads, how to get 2024 budget right, and this according to Economist, with kickers saying, proposal lower compared to South Africa, Ghana, and others, says LCCI. And Nigerians not interested in figures, but, Ruwani, you want to know more. Well, that's much we can take there, but I'll implore you to continue that story on page 4. Villagers flee as soldiers leave Kaduna community. It's a disturbing one on page 35. A Nigerian nurse in UK sacked, deported over praying for dying patients. When I heard that news just yesterday, I was amazed. But anyway, page 6 has more of that story. 9 months after Lagos Airport International Runway remained closed, and we wonder where they'll be taking their flight from. But anyway, let's take our flight to orders. Navy arrests 2 ships' crew for illegal fishing. It's a major one on page 52. And the picture of the day and the cheering one, you say, 1,001 students on Kano State Government foreign scholarship departing to their respective destination. Well, anyway, we really want to commend the Kano State Government for always doing this, getting more of their persons educated and giving them a brand that will further improve their lives. But anyway, like I said, just go grab that story and read it up on page 11 of the Daily Trust, and also the picture of the day of the Daily Trust. That's what you can take from Daily Trust.
All right, the next paper for review is the Nigerian Tribune. And the major headline there says 80% surge in food importation alarming. Is a statement from the federal government. The writer there says 88.5 million Nigerians threatened with insufficient food consumption, and also food inflation stood at 31.52% in October. Another writer there says Nigeria has highest rate of stunted children globally, and explains what is being done to reverse. Do also get all of this on page 8 of the Nigerian Tribune. But moving about the masthead, Ayedatiwa presides over Ondo ESCO meeting. All political issues resolved, says the government, and Assembly withdraws case against Deputy Governor. You can read all of that on page 3. Next, reps and NSE argue over concrete technology for road construction. Is making it to page 2. And on page 30 of the Nigerian Tribune, Shoaibu free to contest, but PDP members will decide Edo Guba candidate, says Obaseki. Okay, so get more details on that on page 30. On 2024 budget, it says reps call for fiscal responsibility and public service reform. We have a couple of writers there, but I'll just take a few. It's a tasks executive on security, economic diversification, employment generation, and also Senate leader faults 9.9 trillion recurrent expenditure. Nigerians uninterested in budgetary arithmetic if bread and rice prices don't increase, says Ruwani. But get all of that on page 3 of the Nigerian Tribune. Moving down below, we have a 135 billion naira gas intervention project. Senators kick as CBN and Petroleum Ministry trade blame. You can get that more details on that on page 2. And finally, Makinde presents new Ashain staff of office December 14th. You can get more details on that on page 30. And that's what you can take on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune.
The Vanguard will be the last paper for us to quickly look at. And the Vanguard this morning, the leading story reads, federal government MDAs now undertakers of businesses. I didn't say so, but Manufacturer Association of Nigeria and NICA seems to be screaming out that on page 5. And just a writer to that, laments rising inflation, multiplicity of taxes, a threat of strikes and protests. By the way, like I said, page 5 has more of that story. Let's quickly see if we take some other major story. Supreme Court judgment, tension grips Nasarawa on page 2. And U.S. star diplomat Henry Kissinger dies at the age of 100. And page 8 has a story. 105 billion naira CBN intervention fund sent to unleash EFCC ICPC on defaulters is a major one on page 8. And ministers to rep, education facing huge problem. And well, we do know that, but grab more copy of that on page 2. Nigerian Air, the barefaced facts is a fact you can continue on page 23. And the picture of the day is that of no other but President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as he's also being greeted by King Charles of England ahead of the COP28 Climate Action Summit in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. But anyway, let's just quickly do what we enjoy doing every lovely Friday and going to the Mr. and Mrs. column. As usual, I always love the women always having the first say. I don't know why I should cook with my money all the time. And whenever I complain, you tell me to manage. Well, Mr. with his rightful sense said, marriage is managed. Well, anyway, who is managing who? But anyway, that's the much you can take there. And well, it's always interesting like that.
Talk about managerial crisis.
Well, anyway, women are better managers.
Yeah, we're born managers. We can help it.
So let them manage the funding of the food. But anyways, we'll manage with our time and I'll quickly open up the lines so we can get your reactions, comments, and contributions as we have those 5 papers. Funny enough, we have someone already on the line. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning. Yeah, Evangelist Christopher on the line.
Well, nice to have you on it. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I want to really appreciate you and the ladies there over there. I want to say that the budget stuff of the thing is terrible. Look at only the federal government budget. If you take into account the different state budget, it means that we are running this country with trillions of naira every year, and there is nothing to show for it because we don't even take into account the different state budgets. If you add state budget, if the federal government budget, then we are looking at something above up to 50 million naira every year, and nothing, no results to show for it. Using our money to buy recharge cards, to buy rechargeable lights, vegetables, to fund their expensive lifestyle. I think it's high time Nigerians need to really awake and hold our leaders accountable.
Okay, well, Evangelist Christopher, I'll thank you for being blunt with your reactions on that very headline. But we'll need to also be blunt to say we need to give others the opportunity to also be a part of it.
Oh, good morning, Michael Ray.
Good morning.
Tony Bucci calling from Kwale.
Oh, Tony Bucci, nice having you on it. Please go ahead.
Community, please, as soldiers leave Kaduna. I think security is a case of Pyrrhic victory. Because in spite of the huge sum of money allotted to security, is far from being achieved. Our borders are so porous, and that is why people are beginning to flee their own community, where the soldiers and police are no longer there. The recruitment of soldiers and police should be a prayer point now, because the current call is for security to be achieved in this country so that we get more food. The issue is a Herculean tax and God bless Nigeria.
Well, thank you, Tony Bucci. But Miriam Rikeni, I'll need you to give them the numbers, and let's see if we have someone again on the line to see how we can get
the numbers to call up there on your screen, and they still remain the same for radio.
Good morning, sir.
08022 931 931
Good morning,
08188 931.
Good morning, sir.
We have a caller. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Marian. I'm Mr. Mike.
All right.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. Your name and your location,
It's a
please.
Calling on a Friday.
I love the way you have
Mr. Friday on a Friday.
Thank you. Happy New Month.
Yes, Happy New Month to you as well.
Thank you.
All right, please let's have your say.
Shaibu is free to contest in those states. That statement is a good one, but it's suspicious. Suspicious in the sense that nobody's monotony of democracy, nobody's monotony of election or democracy in a state. This monotony in a state should stop. Please. The last time one song, you say you cannot give me my human rights. Human right is my right. Now my property. To run for democracy, to contest is an individual right. You cannot give it to somebody. So please, this monotony in a state should stop. We don't like it. everybody can. That's the way to enjoy. Allow another person to enjoy it. Please, freedom of life. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Friday, on a lovely Friday. But yes, we're still taking calls here on the newspaper review on Quest today. The numbers are still 081 88 931 and 0022 931 931. Do want to state your name, your location, and then have your say. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Happy New Month,
Happy
Michael and Co.
Well.
Happy New Month to you.
Yes, Captain Alex from Gucci Farm.
Captain Alex all the way from Gucci Farms. Welcome to it. Happy New Month. Go ahead.
Villagers fleeing their whole community in the name of terrorism and Boko Haramism. It's a pity. Where is our government? They promise us, they promise and promise we'll fight and guide our citizens. Governors and the rest of them are going with cover of soldiers and otherwise, while in Nigeria masses are suffering. It's very poor. Money to be allocated to FEMA. Is that FEMA still existing? Considering the state of our federal and local roads, where is FEMA? Those money should be used for other purposes. If not, be put into one man's purse in the name of our education is dilapidating. Like one of the writers said, I've heard on the look.
Hello. Oh, we seem to have lost that. But anyway, the beautiful thing about Quest today and the papers is we tend to get new words every day. Boko Harism. Well, anyway, a new one, but interesting it is. Hello, good morning to you. Hello. Oh, we seem to have lost that call, but it looks as if we're also out of time. And, well, let's see how we can really just wrap things up. But all the same, I will need to thank everybody that called in. The paper review is always on every lovely weekday as it kickstarts our Quest today. And today is no different. But Kemi, well,
it is time for us to log out of this session to allow the next comment, which is the big story. So don't touch that dial, don't change the station. We will be right back.
Well, definitely we'll be right back. So just stay put. And, well, let's see if we just go on this short commercial break.